Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Mass. Here we have Pyle Souza on Hogaak versus Adam, two-time Brennan. And looks like he's actually not on Eureka here. He's put up some great results over that, including a recent second place finish in our Team Trio Open. And it looks more like a Rug Delver build. We'll see as this unfolds. Hogaak not exactly the type of deck that Rug Delver is going to want to play against. Just a general strategy for Rug is to try and contain your opponent and win the game over the course of several turns, attacking with Delver of Secrets, Young Pyromancer tokens. And there's an awful lot to contain with Hogaak. Usually you're better off just trying to beat the Hogaak player than try and prevent them from doing the things that they're doing. Even if you do have a complete stranglehold on the graveyard, they're still casting one casting cost, 2 power creatures. You got Gravecrawler, Bloodghast, potentially a hasty threat. And Young Pyromancer is answered here with a Hedron Crab. It fetches that first landfall, bringing back a Bloodghast. The second landfall bringing back an additional Bloodghast, and here on turn 2, and now a Stitcher Supplier. That's going to bring back Vengevine. So things are wildly out of hand here, and now Hogaak. So turn 2, we've got 12, 16, 17 power. Vengevine's actually able to swing. Adam is literally dead on board without blocking. He's going to be able to stop 6 of this damage. 11's still going to come through no matter what. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Brazen Borrower is a good start, but it's just going to kind of delay the inevitable. Hogaak can be cast from hand or the graveyard. Even when you go to cast him, if you counter him, he's just going to go to the graveyard and get recast. This is a very grim situation. Bridge from Below getting added to the list of problems for Adam. And there's another Hogaak in the graveyard, Altar of Dementia, and this could just be a wrap. Force of Negation stopping the altar. That would have allowed Pyle to loop Hogaak's infinitely. And a Carrion Feeder. Brazen Borrower. Hitting the Vengevine. I don't know if I agree with that. The trample on Hogaak, probably more of an issue. Another Hogaak coming in. Just gets that Vengevine back. And well, that Hogaak is summoning sick here. Oh no, he sacked the one that he cast from the graveyard. Just getting extra bridges. I guess he didn't convoke using the other Hogaak. A very dire situation for Adam. It's not really clear what he could do to get out of this. If this was Vintage, you could hit Time Walk, but Legacy does not have that type of variance. Time Walk plus Echoing Truth. Get rid of those zombie tokens. Not much is going to be able to help from here. Chain Lightning taking down a Hedron Crab just adds another body. Stitcher Supplier during the end step is sacrificed. Gets another 2/2 zombie body from Bridge and makes that carrion feeder even larger. The feeder doesn't have trample though, so he'll just soak up one of these elemental tokens. Adam fighting pretty valiantly through this. I think the strategy here in game 1 is probably hang on as long as possible, win a really long game 2. And man, it's just a really bad matchup. I was going to say, like, trying to not leave that much time for game 3, but really Hogaak can just like win like turn 2. So even if you're starting game number 3, Hogaak has an option of potentially winning the game. I guess by that measure, it's pretty much better to scoop early. Like it's less likely that you're going to be able to drag things out with Hogaak into a draw. Yeah, tournament management's a really important concept, and kind of sorting that out can be difficult. Figuring out where you're favored to, where it's best to try and aim for a draw as a worst case scenario versus making sure that you definitely have enough time to win. Of course, that matters in the standings of the tournament as well. We're not going to see that as much in our weekly events, our Wednesday and Friday night events that we do 7 o'clock every Wednesday and Friday with Legacy. Not as much jockeying for position there. You're really mostly those would be best viewed as trying to get the best practice that you can for the larger events. Our prize structure also incentivizes that. It's based off of prize shares, so anybody going X1 or better is getting a prize share. If you go undefeated, you get 2 prize shares. X01 gets 1.5 prize shares, so there's no additional value for taking intentional draws or anything like that. It's kind of a zero-sum situation, and that really does encourage the most action at the tables. Of course, when we're doing like an ELD Open, you're going to see a lot of draws at the top tables, people making sure that they definitely make the top 8, as you know, the prize pool is really fantastic, and you don't want to miss out on that. If you can guarantee your spot, very often people will just take the draw and guarantee that they'll be able to, worst case scenario, land in the 5th through 8th slot. So Adam really is going to want like a turn 1 Delver and just hope to keep any type of enablers off the board. It's just a really tough ask. Hedron Crab, Stitcher Supplier, these 1-mana cards that get the ball rolling, they feel awful to force a will, but it's really likely the correct response. Both of them are going to guarantee at least 3 cards going to the graveyard if they hit the battlefield. The Hedron Crab, if they haven't played a land, even if you have a lightning bolt for it, they're going to be able to play a land. Doesn't once they regain priority, they can just play the land, so you don't get to lightning bolt it beforehand. We've got a battle of the 2 of the 1 casting cost creatures, Gravecrawler versus Delver of Secrets and Stitcher Supplier, and this one would easily be worth dazing. No flip on Delver. There's a fetch land in play, and he is going to try and find a better card on top. Tormod's Crypt. can do a bit to contain Hogaak, but it's certainly not the strongest graveyard hate, but you do need some level of graveyard interaction. Daze is stopping that carrion feeder. And Pile working off of a single mana so far, and that's really giving Adam quite the opportunity. Lightning Bolt in response to Cabal Therapy. The card likely would have been named. And a very solid line there for Adam. He had 2 Lightning Bolts in hand. Pile knew about one of them due to the Delver, and he would have been 2 for 1 very easily, losing both Lightning Bolts instead. The Force of Will gets named and taken. And it's likely going to end up being fine. Now, this is going to be a decision. This Carrion Feeder... Nope, he's letting it happen. So Tormod's Crypt could have exiled the graveyard. Instead, that Gravecrawler gets cast thanks to Carrion Feeder being a zombie, and then Hogaak gets cast from hand, exiling the rest of the graveyard. And this feels pretty bad. I think I would have liked the Tormods to be used there just to stop the value of the Gravecrawler. The other side of that is Carrion Feeder can eat the Gravecrawlers to get bigger. Looks like Chain Lightning, though, puts Pile down to 1. I think Adam's going to get this unless Pile has some type of Altar of Dementia shenanigans. Something with like double Vengine. Right now we're looking at just 10, 11 damage. He only has 1 mana to work with. Cabal Therapy is going to get a little extra information. I think we're going to be moving on to game number 3. Oh no, a couple of Bridge from Belows. Interesting. No way of getting additional cards into the graveyard. The 1 life is just killer here. This fetch land not going to be able to get this Hedron Crab in play. He doesn't actually have another land to go with it anyways. And that's going to do it. Very close. A lot of scary things there at the end, but Delver just crossing the finish line thanks to that extra burn. Chain Lightning and that Lightning Bolt to the face in response to the Cabal Therapy. The extra reach, super important here. Hogaak, just a really difficult to answer card. Oko can turn him into an elk, but they can just sacrifice him to Carrion Feeder, and he's back to being a Hogaak in the graveyard, ready to come back as an 8/8. Looks like an easy mulligan for Pile. Underground Sea gets wastelanded. This time a Marsh Flats. Polluted Delta fetches a volcanic island for Adam. And he'll be pondering here Hedron Crab off of Underground Sea. And just a basic swamp to follow up. Typically, you're going to want the fetch land, but if you don't have it, milling 3 certainly going to help move the ball forward. Gravecrawler adds to the board presence. The Once Upon a Time in this list, not a full 4 copies. Something that if you have it in your opener, great. If not, it's really not the worst thing to top deck in this particular deck, is very often your mana is not getting used super effectively once the ball gets rolling. Dryad Arbor keeps the young Pyromancer at bay. And Cabal Therapy being fired off. 1 bridge. And it hits a lightning bolt, and it looks like there's a couple of chain lightnings. Gravecrawler recast. Once Bridge from Below's in the graveyard, Gravecrawler really phenomenal on its for its power level. For 1 black, you're able to just keep casting it. And if you have a sack outlet, you're going to be able to just keep generating zombies. Those zombies ensure that Gravecrawler can be recast. Just a ton of synergy. Both decks generating tokens. Young Pyromancer making 1/1 elementals. Bridge from Below making 2/2 zombies. We've got a Chain Lightning on Hedron Crab. That is going to make another 2/2 zombie. Underground Sea gets taken out. Black and green mana available for pile. Looks like he may just be swinging all out. Can, from here, potentially swing. Just a question about that Bridge from Below in the graveyard. It's only 1 copy. Assassin's Trophy. That gets Force of Will pitching Force, adding yet another elemental to the board. And Gravecrawler's gonna swing. And I'm gonna decline the block. Could have traded a 1/1 token for the Bridge from Below. Would have also given pile an extra 2/2. Delver of Secrets. After Chain Lightning takes out one of those zombie tokens. Stitcher Supplier finds a Cabal Therapy. Really ideal. Hogaak coming in. Gravecrawler swinging. Adam taking the damage. And playing very, very conservatively here. That Stitcher Supplier being left to stick around. instead of sacrificed to the Cabal therapy, instead opting to sacrifice Gravecrawler as he'll be able to be recurred. A Lightning Bolt revealed plenty of reach now. You got Delver, Lightning Bolt, but I mean, starting from 19 is just way too high. If Delver had been chipping away every turn instead of a young Pyromancer sitting there amassing a smaller army, this would be a very different game. Gravecrawler coming back. Hogaak and the 2/2 zombies turning sideways, representing lethal damage blocks must be made. A young Pyromancer. Now Lightning Bolts to the face. Down to just one. Couple of blockers. 6 damage can come in. Would have needed like 3 lightning bolts there. No chance. So he sacrifices a fetch land, taking the final point of damage. And I think that really shows a difficult matchup here for Rug Delver. Hogaak is a serious menace to be contended with. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.